Hello, first graders. Today we are going to read the Solar System Part 1. All right, our learning targets are to review how a planet differs from a star, identify the inner planets that make up our solar system, demonstrate an understanding of the word abundant, use a chart to organize information about the planets and write briefly about your observations, and record observations of the inner planets in your journal. Our key vocabulary today are abundant, accomplish, inner, solar, and unique. Abundant is an adjective, meaning it's one of our descriptive words. Abundant means plentiful, more than enough. The farmers celebrated their abundant harvest with a town fair. Accomplish is a verb, and accomplish means to achieve something. We can accomplish our goal of winning the game if we work together. Inner is another adjective, and it means close to the center or the inside. So if we look at this flower, this is the inner part of the flower. It's close to the inside, right? The inner circles of the spider's web were smaller than the outer circles. Solar. Solar is an adjective, and it means related to the sun. My mom has a solar-powered wristwatch that works by using energy from the sun. If we look at this picture, where's my mouse? Hello, mouse. Where are you? There you are. All right. If we look at this picture, we can see these panels. Those are solar panels, okay? And they are taking energy from the light of the sun, and they are converting it into energy that they can use in their house. Unique, another adjective, and unique is one of a kind, okay? Each person in the world is different from every other person, so we say that each person is unique. If we look at this picture, this pencil is unique because it is different from all of the others in that picture. All right, let's do a little review and intro. For the next 2 days, we are going to be learning about several different planets. Remember that a planet is different than a star. A star is made up of gas and gives off heat and light, while a planet does not have its own heat or light. We've already learned about one planet and the star that it revolves around. Which star and planet have we learned about? If you need to look at this picture to help you, go ahead and look at that picture. What's the planet we've learned about? Earth. Planet Earth, which was where we live. And what is the star that we've learned about? The sun, right? And that's the sun that we revolve around. Okay, if we look at this picture, we can see the sun. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other planets that also seem to have orbits around our sun. Let's see if that's right. Remember our key vocabulary: abundant, accomplish, inner, solar, and unique. Listen carefully for facts about each planet, especially facts about how each planet is unique or different from others. For thousands of years, stargazers have known the sun, moon, and stars are not the only celestial bodies in the night skies above the Earth. Ancient stargazers recognized that there are other planets up there as well. Remember that a planet is a large celestial body that revolves around a star for light and heat. What they did not know is that these planets, like Earth, revolve around the sun. Astronomers now know of 8 major planets, including Earth, that revolve around the sun. The other day, you heard about the word major and its antonym or opposite, minor. What does the word major mean? Big or important, okay? In addition, there are a number of dwarf planets or little planets. So there are 8 major planets. We are one of them as Earth, that revolve or orbit the sun, right? Also, not only are there major planets, but there are smaller planets called dwarf planets that also orbit the sun. The word solar is used to describe something that is related to the sun. For example, solar energy refers to heat and light that come from the sun. Planets and other celestial bodies that orbit the sun make up what is known as the solar system. So what do we call the sun and the planets that orbit it? The solar system. The first 4 planets, sorry, that's not where I was trying to read. What does the word lunar refer to? So we know that solar means sun. What does lunar mean? Moon. Very good. This diagram shows the 8 major planets in our solar system. About the only thing these 8 planets have in common is the fact that they all orbit the same sun on their own special path. Beyond that, each planet is unique, one of a kind, and different from any other. The first 4 planets you will learn about are called the inner planets, or the ones that are near the center of the solar system. These are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Sorry, the dogs are playing with a tennis ball. All right. Oh, hang on. I wanted to show you something on this picture. So we've got the solar system. Let me get my pointer so it's easier to see. I keep losing my... What is happening? Okay. So here's our sun. This is all of these together make up our solar system. And then here's our sun in the middle. And then we said that we were going to talk about the inner planets, which are the 4 planets that are closest to the sun. So we're talking about this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the planets we're going to talk about today. All right. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and the smallest of the 8 major planets in the solar system. Being the smallest and the closest to the sun make Mercury unique. Mercury can be seen from Earth, but it is hard to spot. You can only see it in the early morning or in the early evening. Most of the planets in the solar system are named after Roman gods and goddesses. Remember that the names of the constellations also came from Greek and Roman myths. The planet Mercury is named after the Roman god Mercury. In mythology, the god Mercury was very fast, so it makes sense that this planet is named after him. It takes just 88 Earth days for Mercury to complete a revolution around the sun, so it is a quick little planet. Remember that it takes Earth 365 days to orbit the sun. So if Mercury only takes 88 days, which planet is faster? Mercury. Unlike Earth, Mercury does not rotate much. It spins on its axis just 1.5 times during its revolution around the sun. So it takes only 88 days to go around the sun, but it also takes 88 days for it to just rotate 1.5 times, okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, describe what you see in this close-up picture of Mercury. So this is still Mercury, okay? It's just zoomed in. At first glance, you might notice that Mercury looks a lot like our moon with its rocky, heavily cratered surface. Mercury has some of the largest known crater impacts in the solar system, meaning that it has been hit by some very large rocks. In fact, some craters are about 50 miles wide. Holy moly, that's huge! Mercury has no atmosphere to protect it like Earth does. Like they do to our moon, rocks and debris just crash straight into Mercury's surface, making the craters. And because it is so close to the sun, the surface of Mercury is very, very hot or very, very cold. Temperatures on the surface facing the sun can range anywhere from 300 degrees to nearly 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. On Earth, we consider 90 degrees to be hot. while the surface facing away from the sun can be as low as 350 degrees below zero. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature where water freezes on Earth. So this planet can either be really, 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 really hot, or it can be really, 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 really cold. Okay. Venus is the second planet from the sun. It is named after the Roman goddess of love. Aside from the sun and the moon, Venus is the brightest celestial object that you can see from Earth. Being the brightest object in the night sky makes Venus unique. It takes Venus roughly 225 Earth days to revolve around the sun. However, like Mercury, Venus does not rotate on its axis very fast. In fact, Venus actually rotates in the opposite direction that Earth does. Okay, so if Earth rotates this direction, Venus goes this direction. Okay. All right. I want you to look. Ooh, right here. Look at that right there. That's what we're talking about. Okay. What else do you see in our image other than the dot up here in the corner? What else do you see? What's this down here? That's our moon, okay? Venus is sometimes referred to as the morning or evening star because it often appears as a bright object in the evening sky or as a bright object in the morning sky. Venus is also known as Earth's sister planet. Sorry, guys. My dog made me lose my concentration. Venus is also known as Earth's sister planet because it is the closest planet to Earth, and the two planets are roughly the same size. So they're about the same size. Being a sister planet to Earth is another fact that is unique to Venus. Beyond that, however, Earth and Venus have very little in common. Venus's atmosphere consists of a very thick layer of clouds, so it is difficult for astronomers to study its surface. We do know, however, that the surface is very hot and dry. Venus's thick, cloudy atmosphere traps much of the sun's energy, meaning temperatures on the planet can soar to above 800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really hot. You also learned the word atmosphere when we first started studying astronomy. What does atmosphere mean? It's the bubble of gas or air that surrounds a planet. Okay. What are the first two planets we've learned about so far? We've learned about Mercury, which was the smallest planet and the fastest planet. We've learned about Venus, which is named after the goddess of love, which is perfect because Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And Venus is also Earth's sister planet. Don't forget that. Okay. So we learned about that. Oh, Venus is also the brightest. Don't forget that. You should recognize the planet in this photo. Do you see the planet in this picture? What planet is that? That's Earth. Okay. Earth, is the third planet from the sun. Earth is the only planet that does not have its name from a Roman or Greek god. The word Earth is an ancient word that originally meant ground. When the word Earth was invented, the people living here did not know that it was a planet. This photo was taken by the astronauts of the Apollo 8 mission. They did not get to land on the moon, but they did fly around it. One of the most important factors that sets Earth apart from the other planets is the abundant supply of water. That means that there is more than enough or plenty of water. Water is essential for life. Without water, there could not be any living things like people, plants, or animals. Although some other celestial bodies in our solar system have some water, Earth is the only planet whose surface is mostly liquid water. Earth is also the only planet with an abundance of oxygen in the air, and oxygen is also essential for life. So its supply of water and oxygen makes Earth unique. So after Mercury and Venus comes planet Earth, which is where we live. Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun. Mars is named after the Roman god of war. Mars is often referred to as the red planet because of its color. Its red color makes Mars unique. Here, the word color means the tone that you see when you look at something, such as red, blue, or green. You can see Mars from Earth, and even without a telescope, you can identify it by its reddish tint. The farther you get from the sun, the colder it is and the longer it takes to complete a revolution or make one trip around the sun. It takes Mars 687 Earth days to revolve around the sun. It is interesting, though, that Mars rotates on its axis at about the same speed as Earth. So Mars rotates about at the same time as Earth. So remember, Earth takes 24 hours or about 1 day to make one full rotation. Okay, so right now you're looking at the continent of Africa. To go all the way around back to Africa, that took 24 hours. Mars also takes about 24 hours to rotate one time. Okay? All right. Let's see. Mars has 2 moons, but they are small and oddly shaped. One of them is pictured here. Astronomers believe that these moons are actually large asteroids or space rocks that became trapped in orbit as they passed Mars billions of years ago. Because Mars is relatively close to Earth, astronomers from NASA have been able to send several spacecraft to explore that planet. NASA has sent several unmanned spacecrafts to orbit Mars. NASA has also managed to send several small robotic vehicles called rovers to explore Mars' surface. The photo you see here is the first color photo ever taken on another planet. It was snapped by the Spirit Exploration rover. Most of the rocky surface of Mars is covered in a layer of rust, which is a reddish-brown color. The rust explains why Mars appears to be red. NASA scientists hope to be able to send astronauts to Mars, but it may be many, many years before technology exists that might allow them to accomplish this or achieve this goal. Perhaps if you decide to be an astronaut when you grow up, you would be the first person to set foot on Mars. It will not be easy to put a person on Mars, but people used to think it was impossible to go to the moon too. So Mars is unique because it is a celestial body we might be able to visit one day, and because it's super red, right? All right, guys, if you need a break, go ahead and take a break, okay? And then come back for our word work and comprehension questions. All right, you heard that the word solar means something related to the sun. So what is the solar system? The group of planets and other celestial bodies that orbit the sun. Okay. How many planets are in our solar system? 8. What do all of those planets have in common? So what do they all do that is the same? They orbit or revolve around the sun. You heard that orbiting the sun is about the only thing all 8 planets have in common. What does this mean? It means that orbiting the sun is about the only way in which they are the same. In other ways, they are all unique or very different from one another, right? Okay, so let's see, I'm going to go back to our diagram. All right, here's our diagram again, okay? So the first one we learned about was the closest to the sun. Who remembers what planet this is? The closest to the sun, it's the smallest. Mercury, okay? And it does not have an atmosphere. What about this one? This is the second planet from the sun, also known as it's the brightest planet, and it's the planet that's named after the goddess of love. This is Venus, okay? And then what about this third planet? Do we know what this third planet is? I'll give you a hint. It's where we live. Earth. And then what about the last planet we learned about today? It is red because it is covered in rust. Mars, okay? Very good. All right, you learned that all 8 planets orbit the sun. Why don't they bump into each other? Because they're on different orbits or different paths, okay? So these blue lines show the path that they take. So let's look at Mercury. Does Mercury's blue path or orbit, does it meet up with any other planet's orbit? No. What about the second planet, Venus? What about Venus's orbit? Does it touch anybody else's orbit? No. What about Earth's orbit? Does it touch anybody's orbit? Does it touch anybody else's path or orbit? And what about Mars? Does its orbit touch anybody else's? Nope. Okay, so they're all on separate orbits or separate paths around the sun, which is why they don't hit each other. You learned that the first 4 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are called the inner planets. Why are they called inner planets? Because they're the ones that are closest to the sun, right? A planet's year is how long it takes to orbit the sun. Which planet has the shortest year, meaning it takes the shortest time to go around the sun? Mercury. Do you remember how long it took Mercury to go around the sun? 88 days, okay? And then Venus took 260 something. Oh no, 225. So Mercury took 88 days for 1 year. Mercury's year is 88 days, or 88 days to go around the sun one time. Venus took 225 days to go around the sun one whole time. Earth takes, you should know this one, 365 days to go around the sun. And then Mars takes, oh goodness, where is it? 687 days to go around the sun. All right. Mercury. Mercury, remember, is the first planet in the solar system, and it's known for being the smallest and the closest to the sun, okay? What is the second planet in our solar system, which is known for being the brightest planet as seen from Earth? And do you remember which planet that was? Which one's the second one that is the brightest one? It's also named after the goddess of love. It's also Earth's sister planet. Venus. Very good. Okay, the third planet. The third planet in our solar system is known for having lots of water, oxygen, and life. The third planet is the most important one to us. What's the name of this planet? Earth. And why is it the most important to us? Because we live on it. All right, the fourth planet and the last planet that we learned about today in this is known as the red planet. What is the name of this planet? Mars, okay? Which planet do you think has the longest year? Meaning, which one do you think takes the longest? Look at this picture. You might not have learned the name yet, but which of these planets do you think takes the longest time to go around the sun? Out of all 8 planets, which one do you think takes the longest? I want you to remember which one you guessed because we're going to talk about it tomorrow, okay? We'll see if you are right. Oopsie. Okay, in today's read aloud, you heard one of the most important factors that sets Earth apart from other planets is the abundant supply of water. Say the word abundant with me. Abundant. Say it in a whisper voice. abundant. Say it in a mouse voice. Abundant. When you say something is abundant, you mean that you have a plentiful or a lot of it, okay? You have more than enough. When there is a lot of rain and good soil, farmers expect an abundant crop. You know that the word abundant means having more than enough of something or having plenty of it. The opposite of abundant is scarce, which means not having enough of something or having very little. Listen to the following examples. If I describe an amount that is plentiful or a lot, say that is abundant. If I describe an amount that is very little, say that is scarce. The number of stars in the sky. That is abundant. Remember, there are billions of stars, okay? What about the amount of rain in a desert? That is scarce. There's not a lot of rain in the desert. How about the light from the sun? That is abundant. There's a lot of light that comes from the sun. How about the number of grains of sand? So, little itty bitty pieces of sand, the number of those on a beach. That is abundant. There are a whole bunch of them. I would not want to have to count those. What about the amount of the moon that you can see when there is a crescent moon? That's scarce. Remember, a crescent moon looks like a toenail. So that's not a lot of the moon that you can see in there. All right. Okay. All right, let's check and make sure we have hit our learning targets for today. Did we review how a planet is different from a star? Yep. Did we identify the inner planets that make up our solar system? Yes, we did. We've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, and what's that fourth one? Mars. Did we demonstrate an understanding of the word abundant? Yes. And then here in a minute, you're going to write your observations or the things that made those planets unique in your journal. All right, that is it for today. I will see you next time for the outer planets of the solar system.